do that and take it off their plate. So we do that. So I go out and do that, and real simple. We snare the pot bellies, we roll them over on their side, and they just lay there and scream. You know, most people can't stand the noise, but it doesn't hurt them, and we trim their hooves, so it's not a real big deal. Pretty excited about these pigs. Notice the muscularity of these two. Real big loin muscles, real big ham muscle. The only thing when we look at selecting a pig is we like to see them longer body. You know, just so if you're looking at what a good pig looks like, they ought to have that same kind of muscularity, but they ought to be longer in the body too. So what we'll do is we'll breed to a very, very long-bodied boar to stretch these babies out and keep that muscle, but stretch them out and make them longer too. So, what age is she? She is probably 9 months old. She was shown at State Fair in August. I better figure that out again. Actually, she's actually probably pretty close to a year, because she was shown at the State Fair end of August. Yeah. So September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Yeah, she's a good year, maybe even 13 months.
Now, what age do you like to breed with?
We can breed them as early as 8 months if they weigh 300 pounds. They'll continue to grow while they're pregnant. So she's going to push right past you. If you just open her gate, she'll go back to her pen. Or if she gets an idea, she'll go for a run.
Is this pen right there?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Was she in here with this one? Huh? Was she in here with this one?
Yeah, it goes back to this one. Go back? No? I'll go get it.
Sprinkle.
Couple videos, right?
But that only counts if it's staying out. Not too staying out.
There's your buddy. When you're comparing these two pigs, this one's a little nicer because she has a little longer body. A little more ideal in her time. The other one's just a little short. Real muscular,
She's
but
really
a little short.
well muscled.
Yeah. So she'd do okay. But if we were judging this class, this other pig would probably place over her, especially the brood sow, because she is more ideal in her size. Everybody see the signs of heat in these two females?
Yeah, pretty clear.
You can see, yeah. It is.
So much
That's why we
nicer
collect
than
these.
horses. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hate the ones where we just, I think she's gonna heat.
Yeah.
No. And these two, they come in very solidly too. You guys on this side, they can push their noses through those holes, just so you know. Next thing you know, you have a nose upside your thigh. So they just rub
So as you guys know, in any kind of meat animal, if they're not reproductively sound, or if they don't show very good heat, that means they're not going to produce babies, and they're going to get cold. So tend to breed for reproductive soundness naturally. In horses and some of the pleasure breeds, you breed for things like color and just, speed, and then you end up getting, they're not very reproductively sound, and you might get other problems like crooked legs and all that. So that's why we tend to, in horses, that's why there's so much more management needed in horses, is because we've allowed them to develop some of these bad traits that make them harder to breed. But things like pigs and cattle and sheep, if they've got a problem breeding, guess what? They don't get to breed.
Yeah.
Whereas in horses, we'll do all kinds of fancy things to make sure we get them in foal if we want them for a show purpose or racing or something.
Yeah.
So, big difference.
Well, some of those fancy things you're talking about, we do in pigs too. We can give them injection today, and no matter where they're at in their heat cycle, they'll come in 7 days. we can synchronize their heat cycles that way. We've experimented with that here, but found that the litter numbers were quite a bit smaller. So getting 4 to 5 pigs per litter just doesn't cut it. So we quit using it.
What hormone?
Well, it's PG600. Yeah, we use the product PG600, a prostaglandin.
Yeah.
But we quit using it. What we do now is manage them more naturally by synchronizing their heat by putting them together. So we want that group to be together so they pretty well stay. And the same thing, I put these two gilts together because I wanted them the same. So I'm going to breed them the same boar, something with the same kind of.
Do pigs have any kind of flushing effect?
Yeah, we flush pigs.
Yeah.
Sure enough. These are all on about 8 pounds of feed a day. And we'll increase that just prior to breeding. We breed in July for our fair in May. So starting the 1st of July, it'll be breeding almost every day out here in July, and then and probably August too, somewhat, and then we'll wait for our babies to hatch around November 1st. So
You don't have any males?
I have no males. We used to have a boar just for teasing, but it really does help bring them into heat. But this last one got too big, and we shipped him to market too, and I just haven't replaced him. We found that it helps bring them into heat and it helps them to show signs when we're going to breed them, but absolutely not necessary. And so the danger of having a boar on campus is usually not worth it.
It's like having a stallion?
Yeah, exactly. He smells. The boars have this really strong, heavy urine odor to them, so not real good here on campus either. And I was worried, and they're friendly. We train them from babies. We keep our own and train them, but the boars, you just never trust them. So we didn't replace him. He weighed about 750 pounds, and he did a lot of damage around here. Almost all these panels I had to double up because he just. By the time he was 750 pounds, he could just roll them up like tinfoil.
So pigs are tough on people.
They are anyway. They are. Our new facility that Mr. Slade was talking about involves expanding our animal facility 88 feet that way and putting a whole other set of double pens down with large metal shades over the top, over this one and that one out there, a show ring and a wash rack out there, and then a new farrowing barn over here to farrow all of our sows in when they have their babies. And so we're anxious to get that started, but with the state budgets being the way it is, that money that we got in the grant has been frozen until they decide what's going to happen with our state money. So we're still hopeful that we get that. Nobody said it's going away, but it's all been held up. So we were hoping to have it started by now.
That was bad time. I've done so much work for that.
Yeah. Well, we still got architectural plans to do and all that. It has to be approved by state, so lots to do.
Yeah.
But it'd really be nice.
Now, would they be totally on concrete then?
These won't be. We're going to leave these as our breeding pens that are partial concrete, partial dirt.
Yeah.
The big sows, when they get older on concrete, it breaks down their pastures so quickly. They're hops and they're pasturing. Got a water hammer problem. They like it. They'll stand here and do just that, just to vibrate.
Just to play.
They like the feeling on their nose. They are. If you haven't been around pigs, they're so much like dogs. They love to play. They have the same crazy little idiosyncrasies. We give them balls and things to play with, so they enjoy just picking up stuff and rolling it around and pushing it around. And if you don't give them something to play with, before we put more stuff in here, these guys were just digging the china. They'll make these huge bowls. So powerful. I guess we ought to talk about these farrowing crates while we're here, because one of the things, if you were a registered voter this last November, Prop 2 discussed gestation crates or farrowing crates for sows, and basically banned them for the use in California, which allowed Californians, in my opinion, to vote on something